Well, welcome back to Thoughts While Thinking. I've been rearranging my prejudices and thinking about all this stuff, and I think I'm really thinking about real thoughts. And one of the guys said at one time, I forget what his name was. He said, it all begins and ends in your mind, and whatever you give power to will have power over you if you let it. So we let all this stuff gain and have power over us because we give power to it. And our economy is just getting plumb out of shape. These index charts here, consumer prices, as you can see, look at that energy. It's way up there, and it's causing all the food and everything else to go up because the truckers have to spend more and more on their fuel and stuff, so they're getting it through there, and we've got a shortage of oil and gas, and Obama's real happy about that. He's brought that gas up to about $5 a gallon across the country, and that takes away the spending power. These people up north that use that fuel oil to heat their houses, they just to stay warm, it's going to cost them probably $1,000 to $1,200 a month or more. Uh, and they ain't looking out for us old poor boys. And I think that we've been letting this happen to us over the past 50 years, just bit by bit. uh, Take a little bit of liberal issue here that's unconstitutional, and it ain't no big deal. It's for the children. Everything's for the children. Eh, oh, everything's for the children and the old folks. There ain't nothing there for the politicians, so I don't guess. and our Secretary of Energy, she thinks the shortage of fuel and high prices is hilarious. Well, she ain't having to get out there and work. And, there's too many people out there working anymore because they can't get a job because they won't get a vaccination. Uh, uh, and, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm thinking, they can't get a job because they don't have a vaccination, so they don't have a job, they get on welfare, and they don't have a vaccination. Now, boy, you talk about rearranging some prejudices there, I stack them up on you. And that kind of reminds me of what happened back in the younger days. We had, that's the old shed we had. We worked on the tractors and tools and stuff, and on a rainy day, and we sharpened plow points and stuff. And when it was raining, we couldn't work in the field, so we had to do something. Well, even if I wanted to, my dad wouldn't let me lay down or nothing, and so we had this whole Anvil, and it'd been in the family for over 100 years, and I ain't no telling how many millions of times, 10 millions, 30 million hammer hits, big old hammer hits, strong old hammer hits, and that sucker just stood there and took all that hammering into abuse. And I was back then pretty stout young fella, and I could deliver a pretty good blow with those old sledgehammers. And I had a good heavy sledgehammer, and I was using that to straighten out those plow points. And we had to keep those plow points sharp because we had to dig down and then and turn that dirt over so we could make those furrows and do our planting and stuff. So uh, keeping those plow points sharp was a big deal. And I was sitting there, I was hammering with that old big hammer on those plow points, straightening them out, and that sucker broke right down the middle. Just split right down the middle. And I'm sitting there looking, and I'm just beside myself. I don't know what to think about that. What in the world am I going to do? can only use a half Anvil now. So, so I'm trying to think about what good excuse am I going to use when I tell my dad. Well, I finally woke up the courage to go tell him, and he always had some of the dry sense of humor, but sometimes I didn't know whether it was supposed to be funny or I was getting my tail chewed out. But anyway, he looked me right in the eyeball and he said, "You're the only guy in the world that could mess up a anvil." I say, "I cleaned that up for you ladies out there. I didn't say that word." But anyway, uh, that reminds me about what old Biden's doing. Uh, that little anvil could be replaced. I just really screwed up an anvil. But the Biden administration, they're screwing up the whole country, in my opinion. Uh, we, we, they just keep on and keeping on. And he's blaming you for all the high prices. If you just do a little bit more of what he says and what the government says and stuff, you would have all you wanted, and you wouldn't have all that. So all this stuff that they're doing is your fault. I want you to know that you're to blame. And he's sitting there with that old big wad of $1.2 trillion in a fracture bill, edging like pork sausage. I mean, he's got it all stuffed out there. And I can imagine how deep those politicians are taking all that lobbying money to the bank and filling that swamp back up. And old Biden is his ratings just keep on slipping. Down, down, down they go. And he shoot himself in the foot another time, and they go down again. But AOC's out there saying, "Biden, you're too conservative. You need to loosen up. You need to become more liberal. You need to be more communistic than you're thinking." And he's buying all that stuff. And, well, I hate to look at that, but that's kind of looks like our country right now. It's just broke right down the middle. And just like that old anvil. I mean, we got to put all that stuff back together. We got to work. We got to come back and we got to get some free enterprise going. We got to get some freedom back. I mean, uh, our liberty is, if you can't get a job because you don't have a vaccination, that is a violation of your liberty. Anyway, that's my thoughts while thinking and arranging my prejudices. And I guess I have plenty of prejudices to rearrange, and I'll call them thoughts while thinking. And we'll just keep on plowing and going through and keeping those points, and we'll keep Biden, and yeah, we'll just have some sunshine after the rain. And that I'll see you on the flip side and on the sunny side, I hope it is.